That's it.
Yeah.
And what was it like working with George?
Oh, that was great. I love that guy. He was,
And you never met him before until the show, right?
I think he says that we met at a convention or something, but I used to drink a lot, so I don't remember that. So the first official time, at least that I remember meeting him, was on the show.
On the show.
And and then I guess we just randomly got paired up and made that awesome big tuna, and I was like, okay, I get this guy, and we were just friends from that point on.
And you made it to the finale of season 7. You didn't win that one. You were really close.
Yeah. I look back on it, and well, I'm glad that I made the choices I did, because I got to come back for season 11 and like have all the fun again.
Absolutely.
But yeah, were I to do it again, I wouldn't have went so human with that life night. It just didn't. I was trying to display, because in non-face-off land, there is such a thing as like realistic character makeups that are actually really hard to do. Yeah. And I thought that if I showed a creature and some realistic silicone work, that it would show both things. But for face-off, it's flashy, and you want big things that are going to read like big and extravagant on. And then you got Dina going like full out, and she totally deserved that win, like 100%. I knew like right from the start of application, once I saw that I was like, yeah, she's got this. I'm just going to do my best, but she got it, and well deservedly so.
So did this open doors for you being on the show afterwards? Yeah.
So it's kind of. My life is, once you tap into the flow of life, it takes you, it's taking you to places that you want to go. And sometimes we get in the way of ourselves, but
yes,
but yeah, the stuff that I was doing with Rannie, we did a lot of conventions. We had booths at San Diego Comic-Con every year, and we were really trying to build our brand, and going on the show actually really shined a light on what we were already doing. And so after that, I got invited to a lot more conventions and a lot more events, and my audience grew. And then same thing after season 11, it renewed that too. And yeah, so it helped cultivate an audience on the weird stuff that we were already doing.
And speaking of season 11, so what made you return to the show? Did they ask you?
Yeah. Yep, it was different, obviously, from season 7, because I'd already been on the show. And yeah, they asked me, and then I think they asked everybody who they wanted, because I think we kind of already knew in advance it was going to be partners. So they asked us to list 5 people that we'd want as a partner as well. And yeah.
You got George.
Yep.
It must have been fun reuniting with everybody and
definitely
starting the road all over again. So did you approach things differently this time?
Yeah. So let's see. What did I do different? Well, by the end of season 7, it's almost like I had found a mental groove of what I could get done in a certain amount of time, because like on such an unrealistic timeline, what we do on the show in 3 days really takes like 3 months to do in real life, because it's a whole team of people. You have, like I said before, you have a whole machine. You have somebody that designs it, you have somebody that molds it, you have somebody that sculpts it. Face Off, you do all of that, and literally once they introduce the challenge, no joke, have 30 minutes to come up with your concept, and after that, it's like the time has started. That's all you get. It's like, if you don't know what you're doing after 30 minutes, then so you have to be concept designer, sculptor, mold maker, it's pretty bananas. But I kind of just fell right back into that rhythm. And it's funny because in season 7, George and I had opportunities. They let us pick our partners a lot in season 7, but George and I just wanted to keep things like fun, so we never paired up again. And we wanted to work with other people too. But then it was like going back and it's like, okay, this is what it would have been like had we partnered up more. And we worked really well together, and our skill sets are very complementary. So it was pretty much easy to just jump into a flow and go with it. And man, we were suspicious the whole time that at the end they were going to split us up, but we were really hoping that wasn't the case, because the first episode they really got our hopes up, is that we thought there were going to be two winners. You know?
Yeah, I was hoping that too.
Yeah, and that was really sad. George was really upset about that, and I was too. But and I guess for the finale of that one, I learned a lot from how to manage a team from the first finale, because I think I was trying to have too much control on everything, and when it's that stressful, it's like you have to really figure out how to make sure that it comes together as your vision, but you delegate things out to other people that and you have to trust them to do it.
Yes.
I was sort of trying to just sort of have everything, so tightly knit on me in season 7. So learning from my mistakes there was easy. And then, I was much more comfortable to delegate and run a team for the season 11 finale. So.
And I love the Laguna Blue makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Really good. Of course, Ku, God of War.
Oh, yeah.
That was
I like that one a lot. That's up there with one of my favorites that I may have ever done. I'm just like that. I look at that cowl, that headpiece, and I'm like, dude, how did I do that? Like in a day? Like what the heck, man?
Wow.
It's like popsicle sticks, man. That's how you do it, I guess.
Finds a way. And then you had Tiger and Dragon for your finale. It was martial arts fighting with the makeup, right?
Yep, the Kung Fu Finale.
And you win it.
Yeah. This
time you win.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was really amazing and strange at the same time. I'd never had a moment in my life where my brain just kind of broke. Like it was, they said my name and like everything just went like slow motion and like nothing made sense. And I was just in this weird daze of just surreal awesome, and plus like we're so creatively like spent by that time, like I said, this schedule is like back to back. It's like you do it, somebody goes home, you're sad, you do it all over again the next day, and it's like this is like 2 months of that straight. So it was very just like overwhelming emotion of like, man, I did it, and it felt good, and and then it was it was just, I can't even describe the feeling other than just like sheer like surreal is the best word I can describe it. Like that we were driving home in the party bus and everybody was like dancing and having a good time and stuff, and I'm just like sitting there like wide-eyed like, like just like brain fried. I didn't even know.
Now I want to get into your process. Do you approach every makeup the same way? Is it the concept on paper first, or whatever you draw on, and then sculpting, or is it different for each makeup?
Yeah, it's kind of different for each makeup, but typically, I mean, there was once I did this character called Jackie Dan Hands, and he was just this like sloppy, drunk alien monster, and something about the style of that just kind of clicked, and I was like, okay, yeah, because I'm very inspired by like the Kyoto Brothers and movies like Freaked. Where it's just like I call it a cartoony realism that was very prevalent in like 80s film. Once I tapped into that, it was like that was a big part of what had frustrated me as an artist for a long time, was trying to find what I would consider my personal style. And I think that's what a lot of artists struggle with, is because we want to be unique, but we have inspirations and things, and there's that whole old adage that's, something about like good artists emulate or great artists steal or something like that. And it makes sense. It's like we have inspirations and you're not copying if you like, it's basically impossible to be original. You can be original in a sense that you take elements of reality and bend them into something new, but I I don't know, it's a big topic, but once I found the style that I considered my personal style, then it just kind of, it just comes out. I rarely do a sketch or anything. I see forms better in clay than I do on paper. So most of the time I design the makeups in the sculpt rather than on a drawing. And that was interesting about Face Off too, because I never actually sculpted or sketched makeup before I did it. And I was like, we had to on the show. So it's really interesting.
And what was the difference between that red clay, that green clay, that gray clay? I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so the reds and the greens, they're actually similar clays. The one is like Roma Plastilina, and then I think some people would be using Monster Clay, which is more waxy. I honestly have no idea why people use that clay. Well, actually, now that I've been using Monster Clay, I get it. I'm starting to get kind of faster with it, but it's a very like meticulous, detailed, like the kind of clay that you want to take and like make every little pore and like really detail it out, hyper realism. But you don't have time for that on Face Off. You have just enough time to make it just good enough, and you have to know what corners to cut. And a lot of times that like you'd see people sitting there texturing things, and that's kind of their downfall, is because you're not even going to see most of that texture anyways. So yeah, you got to know what corners to cut. And I use the wet clay, which is the gray clay, and because it's water based, and you just shoo, just real fast,
Okay.
And you don't have to rake it and all this stuff. So I guess it's just a personal preference,
No, you're using Monster Clay more now?
Yeah, and I like it. I'm starting to get the hang of it. So
after winning Face Off, did that help further your career?
Yeah, because I was able to. I don't even know. Actually, ironically, so a lot of the work I do now is freelance stuff, and I was just somehow able to develop a client list that is pretty big clients. Like I do a lot of commercials. I've done stuff for actual like Fig Newtons, which is funny. And then that company bled out into a lot of other companies, and then I just get hit up for gigs that I head up, and I'm like the department lead on, and I can like hire a lot of Face Off people and stuff when I get the big jobs.
And so you keep in touch with your past competitors. So, that's good.
Yeah. So that was like sort of unrelated from Face Off, but in the meantime between those jobs, I'm like making sculptures or selling stuff or my own personal art, and that has really Face Off has really helped in that department, because now I've built a brand essentially since the show, and and it helps to have a name when you're selling art. So
your Cig Neutron universe.
Yeah.
Now, is it all sculpting? Do you do any other things?
Yeah, we do on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/BizarroAuGoGo. We do. I really want to write and direct. So we have a lot of wacky videos up there, and I've got some more coming out pretty soon. But yeah, it's mainly art-wise sculpture. Yeah, I would say. I've started to get into sketching actually lately, and I really like it too. So probably do some more sketches soon.
But you also do cosplaying. How often do you do that? Is for the Monster Paloozas and Comic-Cons and all that?
Yeah. We used to do a lot of different conventions, and now we've sort of narrowed it down to just Monster Palooza. And yeah, it's usually I cannot wear prosthetic makeups.
No, you can't, huh?
No, I get super claustrophobic, and I hate being sticky, and it's basically you're just making your whole face sticky, and I feel encased, and I almost passed out and at the Nintendo area at San Diego Comic-Con. I went as Wario, and my friend was Waluigi, and he jumped on my back, and I was running around wah, 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 having fun, and as soon as I set him down, I was like, that was a bad idea. And I just got really dizzy, and then everybody's talking to me. They're like, little kids are like, can I get a picture with you? And I'm like, well, I don't think so. And I'm trying to look for any exit, and I'm just surrounded by people, and So I think I'm starting to have a panic attack. I'd never had one before. I didn't know what it felt like. And I'm like, I got to get out of here, man, right now. So I sat outside and took the nose. Anything that covers my nose, it's like game over. Can't do it. So